What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all again for tuning in to another episode of the Dope Sessions Podcast. I'm your host, Kelvy. And like I said before, and I always will say this, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for the support. Please keep watching. Please keep supporting. Get those numbers up. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, not only to the podcast, but also to the Kelvin Wilson Project channel, which the podcast is on. Thank y'all again and again. For those who have been watching this series, last week's episode was part one of the panel I got to host with the Microphone Misfits, Flow Spitting and Misfitting panel. That was part one. Now you're about to see part two of that panel, which is going to be the conclusion, and I hope you guys enjoy. So let's go ahead and take a look. So what's the best part of being the Microphone Misfit?
That we all can relate, and the energy that everyone brings is like a nice spark, you know. So I'm always hyped with these guys. They just like, so it just keeps it going for me.
I would say this same thing like he said, but at the same time, we're misfits. We don't fit. We don't. What is it?
We don't fit in anywhere except on stage.
God knows. No, for real. That is true. They won't see me for like 4 months after this. No, I'm joking.
Mel, he's not lying.
Tell the truth, bro.
I'm gonna be honest. The best part about being a microphone misfit is people not knowing that I'm a microphone misfit. It's the greatest thing in the world. Like literally, I am that guy that right now, like these guys, because they are out front, like especially like our dancers, like they're super hype. Same thing with D, Nick, and Ray. Like they have memorable places. For me, I'm the DJ, so I'm in the back. And again, like I'm the muscle, so I'm like when we're on the road and we're doing shows, like I'm behind the scenes taking care of business, you know, doing what needs to get done. If I take off this logo right now, like I could walk through this entire convention center and nobody would recognize me. If I'm standing next to one of them, regardless of what I'm wearing, they'll say, oh yeah, that's Mel, that's Microphone Misfit. I can take off this logo right now and people that I've known for 10 plus years would not recognize me. That's probably one of my favorite things. Like I'll tell you, I was at a funeral. Like it was an unfortunate time, but I was out there and just paying my respects, and then a young lady that I've known in the scene for a while just walks up and introduces herself to me, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm such and such, and she was like, whatever, no you're not, and that was it. I literally like 2 hours later saw her at an event at a function, had on the gear, had on the hat because we had just come from doing a show. Said the same thing, like I know we just did this like a couple hours ago. She looked right at me and was like, oh, that was you. And it's one of those, and that happens to me no matter where we go, like here in Chicago, on the road. Like, if I don't want to be seen, which I often don't, all I have to do is take off the logo and I can blend into the crowd. And that's probably my favorite part.
That's all of us. They want to give me our passes. Like I got here to get our passes. They did not believe that I was D-Nick, the Microphone Misfit, because I didn't have the shirt on. I was like, they didn't. They was like, they thought I was just some random black dude just walking around.
Whose fault is that?
I was lucky that one of the DJs happened to have the program and was like, no, that's him right here. I was like, yo, look in the website, it's me. Like, I'm just here to get our passes. But no, that's solid. For real, they do not. I thought that Clark Kent shit was bullshit, but until like we got this assembled.
It's a real thing, man. I'll be walking down the street with this on because I just wear this on random days because I like being a superhero. And oh man, Microphone Misfit, I seen your show. Yeah, man, that's what's up. Thanks. Visit us on YouTube and all of that. Right.
I almost had to fight some dude at a school because I was walking out of my office.
Oh, you thought you was bootlegging? I stopped.
And I had a Microphone Misfits backpack on, and so dude was like, "Yo, where'd you get that bag from?" I'm like, I had it made. Like it's custom. What you mean you had it made? It's like I'm a Microphone Misfit. No, you not. Like I know these dudes. Like, and so again, like I'm at my office, but I'm ready to square up. Like I ain't got time for this, and just walked out. And a couple of hours later, I guess he called one of the fellas, and he was like, "Yeah, that's my guy. He works over at the school." Saw him a couple of days later. He's super apologetic about it, but like, yeah, like I've literally almost had to fight people because of his logo. So
you gotta fight.
Did you slap him anyways?
I mean, I would have, but I was at the job. I kind of like them checks.
My favorite part about being a Microphone Misfit is watching our legacy. And by that, I'm talking about our students. Like, all of us work with young people, you know, and it'll bring a tear to my eye for real. Like, you know, like at our practice, you know, one of our students, because of the pandemic, everything's been virtual, so I haven't seen a student in a year. Student baby Roro, she's a B girl, and like she's a breaker.
Becoming DJ.
And she's in my music production class. We're teaching the DJ, and she, you know, I was like, you remember the routine? And she just was like, yeah, and she was just beat juggling. LL Cool J's mama said, knock you out. This is a 7th grade. Is she in 8th grade? She's an 8th grade girl. I've had this student since she was in 3rd grade. So to see her like get busy, and to see all of our students like get busy, like, and not just even like me and Ray, so we teach together, but like Defects. Like, I had to speak to your class one time to see how enthused they are, and solo students, like, and Mel like oversee a lot of schools where he at, you know, and just to see like kids like really like embrace this symbol, like it means a lot. The joke is like I'm like in my neighborhood, I'm like Krusty the Clown. I'm like the shitty local celebrity all the little kids love. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, cause I go, you walk through the street, like even if you see, you know, like people like doing their thing, like kids like slanging and stuff, and they be like, you know, they'll see me walk past, they be like, yo, chill out. That's D-Nick, you know, like put that up. And you know, and it's like, but that's respect and that's love and that's our community, and like you take the bitter with the sweet, man. So for me, like seeing our legacy like growing with them, not even just with our camaraderie, I love that too, but that like as I'm getting older, that touches me for real.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite parts as well, being able to feed the children all this beautiful hip hop that we honor, respect, love, and want to continue into the future, because you guys see what the industry is doing, and it's not a good look. So, you know, we want to just keep it real and pass it on. And, you know, just me being who I am as an individual, one of my favorite parts is just loving to do this music thing, man. I've been writing since I was 12. I've been performing since 17. And, you know, finding a group of guys that love doing what I love doing, you can't get this nowhere else. You know?
So when you guys are teaching the kids, are they more receptive to it the first time around, or they kind of just like, I don't know about this, and then they'll kind of come around to it?
You know, I think, man, for like working in education, like I've been at this almost 20 years. Like, one thing that I'll find, regardless of what it is that you're teaching them, the first couple of times, like, you're always going to have a few that are in it that are like super gung-ho, but the majority of your students, the first couple of times around, you're going to have to win them over. It's no different than a crowd. Like, you know, you got that first track or so, especially if it's a crowd that don't know you, you're going to have to work to get them on board. And it's the same way with the shorties. Like, they sign up for these classes because their friends are in it sometimes, or because their parents made them. But eventually, you get to see that growth. And like, one of the best things is to see that aha moment, that moment when it clicks, and they're like, this is what I want to do, or like, I'm having fun with this now. That's kind of that moment that I think most of us will run into.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, ask that question one more time.
When you're teaching when the kids first come around, are they kind of just like drawn back, like, I don't know about this, like when they're first introduced to what you guys are teaching, or are they just kind of gung-ho into it?
They're just, well, we get them comfortable. Some are gung-ho, they're excited, ready to learn. Some are, so you get different batch, but you know, we just try to get them to learn and let them understand that the truth is, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm guiding you to the greatness that you already know. You just forgot that you know it. This is in you. I'm not teaching you shit. That's the biggest lie that the public education system kind of did. Like, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm guiding you and reminding you of what you already know.
Yo, did he just say what I just said, only more articulate?
So,
I'm sick of this dude. I quit.
I can say something, add
go
something to
for
that.
it.
I'm glad he said the word comfortable, because that's how it is when I'm teaching kids. And one of the biggest things I push is that don't be afraid of what other people think of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to cosplay, and it's like, I don't care what anybody think of me. This is what I love to do. You know what I'm saying? It's either you like it or you don't. And that's how I get my students. I get them comfortable also. It's like, look, we're going to develop a cipher, and nobody laugh at nobody. The thing is, dance, be one with the music, and just dance, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to cheer you on and bring you up. You know what I'm saying? And lift you up. So that's how I do it.
All right, so you guys have 4 albums and a 5th one on the way, all titled "Escape from Babylon." What does that title mean to each of you?
Y'all want to take it first? You want me to get it? All right.
I just like that. That's the theme of what we've been going for. And again, like-minded brothers, we all get what we're doing. And so when we speak of Babylon, this place that we live in, it's so scary to raise kids in. The idea is to escape. And, even though it's a physical thing that we live in, the escape is the mindset. And, being able to set yourself apart from this earthly being and, find a piece of heaven wherever you find it at.
Yeah, and it's tricky, too, because a lot of times, like I was in a conversation with the voice actor. I forget the adjustment. Yeah, and we were talking about this. Somebody's trigger is somebody else's salvation, and what you have is you have people, you have entities. I won't say they're people, but you have entities that try to use somebody's trigger or somebody's liberation against another group. And then because nobody's dialoguing, they're not wrong. Cynthia, we was talking to the voice actor Cynthia. And it's and then because nobody's dialoguing and nobody's having the hard, uncomfortable situations and conversations and such, they don't know. And we think being distinct is being divisive, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? And your truth is your truth. Perfect example. The slut walk. All right. Some people will say "Oh, that's terrible." What you're doing, da 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 da. With all of this type of stuff, and, promoting being a slut and da 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 da. And some will say sexual exploration and sexual freedom. Both are right and both are wrong. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't handle it with context, nuance, and compassion, then we messed up. And that's where the whole Babylon mind state come from, straight up. Yeah.
Look, my mama don't like humans. I think it's hereditary. So, honestly, for me, that escape is just that. We live in a society where people and businesses are constantly trying to push a specific narrative to you, and if you're not careful, you're going to be sucked in, whether you dislike something or disagree. People have gotten to this point where if we disagree, we can't be in the same room. If I feel this way, everybody around me has to feel this way, and it's just not that. So for me, the escape is really just being able to take myself out and be like, look, that's what you want, do you, this is how I feel about it, I'm gonna go on over here. I respect your right to do it and feel how you feel on it. I can respect it and not have to deal with it. I'm not hating, that's just me. I'm gonna escape, this is what's going on over here, I'm gonna take myself on over here and I'm gonna escape from that situation. Y'all have fun over there, let me be me over here, and I'm okay with that.
And that's one of the beautiful things about. That's one of the beautiful things about the hood, man. Everybody is very direct and very you go overboard, yeah. But anything in excess is problematic. You know what I'm saying? Anything in excess can be problematic. The things that you love and any of it. So yeah. So just escaping from Babylon, as we've been growing with the content, is really us achieving balance. And getting to that state of balance. I mean, that's all it really, because that's kind of the conundrum. You can never really escape. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You just gotta try to balance. You just gotta try to find balance. You know.
Okay. And so I saw Dina take out the comic book, and that's what I want to kind of touch on too, because not only do y'all have the comic book, but y'all also have action figures.
We got prototypes.
Prototypes. I'm sorry, but what was like the how did it feel like the first time seeing yourself in comic book form?
Oh, let him go first.
It was so cool. I was like, this is me. Then I was like, where's my beard?
Oh, go to Defects. Because Defects, you was the last one. This is Defects' comic book debut with the group. So you was the last one.
How's it feel to be a comic book hero? I don't know how, man. It's just I don't know how to answer that because it's like there's so many answers because I grew up like reading comic books and then to see yourself as a comic book character. So I was like, holy shit, I'm a character now. Like I'm in a book. Me, like I'm lame, you know, like but I'm in a book. You know, that's my thought process, right? But see, like I don't know how to answer it because it's just like I have so many feelings about it. It's like a fun, nerdy, like kid, like type of feeling that I'm actually in a book.
That's
It's
how
dope. It's like an honor.
That's how he
in a
act,
way.
for real.
And they portray me pretty well. Like I can hear him say that shit. For real.
I know you fools. I know how to write y'all.
That's why it feels so realistic, like reading these books, because it's actually us, but like we're like in space and like we have guns and stuff.
I got one for you.
Go.
I bet y'all didn't know. Escape from Babylon was actually not my comic book debut.
Okay.
So this was actually not the first for me.
Tell us more.
My,
Oh, more there.
I know, right? See, so back in 2003, after I got back from Iraq, and Dina and I got back into starting to do this music thing, I was working at a museum back in Flint, right? And so for this museum, we did this grossology exhibit, and we did this character called the Biospy. And so I had this whole little spiel that I did, and I had about an hour-long thing that I would teach on a weekly basis. So we got this idea when we partnered up with this hospital about making sure to washing hands and all this. So they decided to come up with a story in order to move this along. So my first comic book was actually the Biospy grossology book back in 2004. And so the first time like this was Biospy Agent 002 or something like that. It's me in an all-black suit with my afro, the whole nine. It was the funniest thing in the world. So that was actually my comic book debut, but the first time I actually saw myself and was like, yo, that's absolutely, without a doubt me, would have been the Escape from Babylon. And honestly, I think they might have like maybe 15 or 20 of them still at the museum, but the rest of them things are like hard to find, and like I lost all of my copies of it too back in the day. But yeah, man.
For me, I was just like, yo, like we Mickey Mouse. Like, you know what I'm saying? We will live forever. You know what I'm saying? In print form. Like that's where my mind went, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it, and like I was happy that I pulled it off, and I was happy that I got to share with my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, it's all really surreal for me. I feel like I'm really still just along for the ride in this nigga's dream. Because this is his dream, man. He was like, yo, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'm like, oh yeah, you should do that. That's cool. I like that.
Now, when he first said that, did you believe him? You're like, all right, comic book, okay, whatever.
No, I really didn't actually.
Okay.
But the way that things come together and how methodical this guy is, you know what I'm saying, and like how the story came together, I was like, all right, okay, bet. And we gonna do what? And we gonna do what? Comic-Con. I don't know nothing about the comic book world. Let's dabble. And and 10 years later, man, we out here, and I love being a part of this. It's a whole nother world that I never would have even knew existed. If we didn't really get into this game and really merging hip hop and comic books, everybody who sees this, man, that's unique. Never seen that before. Thanks.
it's funny because we were before a lot of people. There were people who were putting out comic books before us, but like now, like you see, we remember being on the road at with Wizard World and meeting the guy like meeting 7L and Esoteric, talking about before they even reached out to inspect the deck. It was like, I'm thinking about reaching out to them for, I'm thinking about reaching out to a Wu-Tang member to do this comic book thing. It was like, oh, okay, word. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, oh man, they did our first con was DMC's first con. That's why that's why he's on the intro of all of our albums. Like DMC did the intro because he we were there
DMC
together.
from Run DMC.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy to be that, to be in there and to be like early with that. So like I'm just happy to be a part of that, to be a stone in that mountain.
Yeah. So did you all do the art and the writing amongst yourselves? Or?
I did the writing, Mel helped edit, he did a lot of the editing, and then our two artists, they're actually in the convention floor,
helping to move our merch.
Yeah, you'll go, you'll see big shirts, you'll see our shirts and the logos and the posters.
They're over there working on it.
Damian Hampton did the line art, and Daryl Spicy did the lettering and coloring, and he did additional line art and art editing. He is the funniest old cat that you'll ever meet. I let them dudes I let them dudes. They're cool. But yeah, they're here. They're on the sales floor.
Crazy, man. Damien actually, when we did the first comic book release, we did the Babylon Breakout. So it was this big event that we threw, and we had an art competition at that first one, and Damien won. And as a part of him winning, the character that he created would then become a character in the book. And so he actually created the villain for our last couple of books while at the convention or at the album release for that first book that we did.
And you know what's ill about that?
Yeah.
You know who told Damon? Because Damon's not a hip hop head. He's like a alternative metal type. You know who put him hip to us, to the event?
Spice?
No, Adonis. One of our students was cool with Damon. He was like, yo, these hip hop dudes that do these programs and mentor. Like, that's when I say the legacy, that's what I'm talking about. Damon has, he got a book called The Rose Society. Daryl Spicy is just like an unsung Chicago artist. Like he did the artwork for the Million Man March, the original. He did the artwork for Barbara Bates. He used to do artwork for the Chicago Bulls. Like, you know what I'm saying? Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac. Like he's in the What's Up Man. He has a book called What's Up Man that is like a strip in the Austin voice. And he works with me, Ray, and Defects at the college. He does comic book design, and he's our OG, but we got him in, and he's like, man, you gotta let me do your book, man. He always talk like he's singing. That's his he talk like he's singing.
Hey, I didn't know that until now. Now when I see him,
man, you gonna give me a ticket to the con, man? You gonna give me a ticket to the con, man? Look, man, tell Damon to come too. Tell Damon he need to be drawn, man. I don't want it. He into that anime stuff. I'm just an artist. I'm an artist. I be drawing everything. Tell Damon he gotta be working at this booth. It's like, all right, Spicy, we got you. And that's his real name, Daryl Spicy. Check him out, man.
So with the Escape from Babylon comic book, you guys, hip hop superheroes, fighting the music industry.
Agents of Fortune.
Okay. Yo, I hope y'all enjoyed that panel. I enjoyed being able to step out there and to be able to do that panel and be able to host that panel. But that's another episode of the Dope Sessions podcast. We will be back next week as usual with another episode. Thank y'all again for watching. Thank y'all again for just being supportive and being there. I'll see y'all next time. Peace. I don't understand why y'all fighting the music industry. They do nothing wrong, right? So
This guy.
I was gonna say, what you mean they didn't do nothing wrong? Have you seen the music industry?
Have you seen our
Or
children?
even just lately? And I'm not gonna put it out on this generation, but have you seen the music industry overall? The music industry has constantly been known for robbing its artists, you know, stealing people's publishing, putting your names on songs that you didn't write. The music industry has been for a long time.
Well, to be fair to the music industry, a lot of artists are stupid. Like,